Libra, gentle soul of balance. The universe isn't just turning toward you tonight, it's mirroring the quiet truth you carry beneath every graceful breath. Something in you has shifted. You can feel it, like a soft wind brushing against the edges of your spirit, whispering that you're not just approaching abundance, you're about to be immersed in a wave of peace, security, and resources that finally match the depth of your heart. For so long, you held everything together for everyone else. But the last weight, the last shadow, the last old belief that kept your blessings locked away is breaking open now. And Libra, you didn't find this message by accident. You were pulled here by intuition, by alignment, by a knowing you can't quite put into words. If your spirit is ready to receive what's been waiting for you, type, "I'm open to my blessings." Let the universe hear you, because what comes next is the part of your story you've been sensing for years, and it begins right here. Libra. There is a softness moving toward you now, almost too quiet to name. A gentle shift in the air, like the first warm breeze that slips through winter and whispers that something new is beginning. Not loud, not dramatic, just true. You may not see it yet, but the universe has already started rearranging itself around your energy. It leans toward you the way dawn leans toward the horizon, slowly, steadily, until the light becomes impossible to ignore. And this time, that light is carrying something you have long deserved, but rarely claimed for yourself. A new balance is forming inside you. Not the kind you fight to maintain for others, but the kind that rises naturally when your spirit is finally allowed to breathe. You are stepping into a chapter where emotional safety isn't something you bargain for. It simply arrives. Where resources don't slip through your fingers. They gather around you like a quiet circle of protection, where the peace you've offered the world begins to return home to you. For so long, Libra, you've carried the weight of harmony on your shoulders. You've held space for people who never learned how to hold space for themselves. You've become the anchor, the listener, the silent keeper of balance in storms that weren't yours to calm. And somewhere along the way, a small part of you learned to settle, to wait, to postpone the life you wanted until the world felt steady enough to receive you. But that old rhythm, that quiet pattern of self-doubt and self-delay, has cracked open. Something inside you is no longer willing to shrink, no longer willing to trade your own peace for someone else's comfort, no longer willing to dim your inner truth just to keep the room from shaking. What you're feeling now, that subtle expansion in your chest, that hum under your skin, it's not your imagination. It's the moment a long-held knot finally loosens. It's the moment the blessings that once seemed locked away begin to move again, in your direction, without resistance. You're not brushing up against abundance anymore. You're stepping into the heart of it, into a space where your needs matter, where your dreams breathe, where your worth stops whispering and starts speaking clearly. And maybe, for the first time in a long time, you're ready to listen. So, take a slow breath. Feel how the air itself seems different now, how it carries a quiet promise, how it settles into your bones like a truth you always knew but never dared to embrace. Because this isn't simply a better moment, it's the beginning of a new pattern, one that lifts you instead of draining you, one that grows with you instead of asking you to shrink. Stay with me, Libra, because something deeper is unfolding, softly, just beneath the surface. And as this energy finds its way to you, it opens a doorway, one that leads into a place you haven't explored in a long time, a place where you are finally allowed to receive. Let's step into that doorway together and see what has been waiting for you on the other side. And Libra, as you sit here listening, there's something in you that already knows this moment isn't random. It feels different. It feels like a quiet hand on your shoulder, guiding you toward a truth you've ignored for far too long. A truth that rises not from the mind you've trained so well, but from the deeper place beneath it, the place where your intuition has been waiting patiently to be heard. You've always trusted logic, balance, clear lines, clear answers. The world taught you that certainty keeps you safe, but lately, there's been a soft tug beneath the surface, a pull you can't quite rationalize, a sensation like standing at the edge of something luminous. Something you can't describe, but can't walk away from either. It's that gentle shift, that mysterious stirring in the background of your life, that brought you here. Sometimes intuition doesn't arrive with thunder. Sometimes it slips in quietly, the way moonlight slips across a dark room without asking permission. It touches what the mind overlooks. It speaks in feelings instead of sentences, in whispers instead of warnings. And somewhere in the stillness of your days, you started feeling that whisper. Maybe it showed up as restlessness, maybe as a sudden softness in your chest, maybe as the sense that you're standing on the threshold of something you can't yet name. But you felt it, that tremor of possibility, that subtle reminder that a new path is opening, and it's one you've postponed again and again because you were waiting for, what? The perfect timing, the perfect clarity, the perfect version of yourself. Libra, the universe didn't bring you here because you're perfect. It brought you because you're ready. Ready in a way that has nothing to do with preparation and everything. To do with willingness. And deep down, your intuition has known this longer than your mind has. It's been nudging you toward this moment, nudging you to stop circling the same old questions, nudging you to listen to the part of you that feels the future before it arrives. Because the truth is, you didn't click on this message. You were called to it, summoned by something gentle and ancient inside you. The part of you that recognizes when destiny is shifting beneath your feet. That little flutter in your chest right now. That warmth rising in your throat. That sense of, I needed to hear this. That is intuition finally being allowed to speak. Let it. Let it guide you for once instead of logic. Let it lead you into the chapter that has been waiting just beyond your hesitation. And as you breathe into that space, as you let the knowing settle, feel how the air changes, how it becomes fuller, quieter, more present. Because this pull you're feeling isn't just about what's arriving. It's about who's been sensing you too. Stay with me, Libra, because something, or someone, has already begun moving in your direction. And you're closer to that revelation than you realize. And Libra, there's something else you may have felt lately. A quiet presence. A sense that someone is watching you, not in a way that tightens your chest, but in a way that softens it. It's subtle, like a gaze that doesn't intrude, but lingers long enough for your spirit to notice. A warmth that moves in the background of your days, as if a pair of eyes has begun to see you with a clarity you didn't know you were longing for. This isn't the kind of attention you've learned to fear. It isn't the kind that judges, measures, or compares. It's gentler than that, truer than that. It feels almost like recognition, the soft, steady recognition of someone who understands the world you carry inside, someone who sees the way you navigate chaos with grace, how you hold the temperature of a room without raising your voice, how your presence alone has a way of settling storms, even when you don't realize you're doing it. You've moved through life offering balance like a gift, yet rarely hearing anyone name the quiet wisdom behind it. But this person, whoever they are, they see the truth of you in a way that feels almost startling. They notice the stillness in your strength, the courage in your calm, the beauty in the spaces you tend to hide from the world. And what's drawing them in isn't perfection. It's the shift happening inside you, a subtle glow, a steadiness that wasn't there before, a quiet confidence rising like dawn after a long night. People can sense when something in your spirit begins to lift, when old fears loosen their grip and you start returning to yourself, when your energy becomes clearer, warmer, more unapologetically yours. That's what they're seeing, the emergence of a version of you that's been waiting to bloom, the real you, finally stepping forward without asking permission from the world. And yes, they are drawn to it, not because they want something from you, but because their soul recognizes the shift in yours. As if they've been standing at a distance, watching you gather your strength back piece by piece. And only now are they brave enough to approach. It may be someone familiar, someone whose name you've heard before, but whose meaning has changed. Or someone new, someone your intuition has already sensed arriving even before your mind caught up. But whoever they are, their presence is not random. It's part of the new current moving toward you. The one that's been rearranging the landscape of your life in ways you're just beginning to understand. Take a breath here. Feel the quiet curiosity rising inside you, the gentle pull towards something or someone you can't yet fully name, because the path that leads into the next part of your story is already unfolding beneath your feet. And Libra, as you move deeper into this unfolding, you'll begin to see that this connection, this gaze, this recognition is only the beginning of what's coming toward you now. There's a moment, Libra, when the universe stops feeling distant and begins to feel personal, close, as if something vast has turned its face toward you and whispered, "It's time." That's the energy you're standing in now. You may not see the doors yet, but you can feel the hinges loosening. You can sense the quiet shift in the atmosphere, like a hallway of possibilities has just lit up in front of you, one warm lamp at a time. And what's opening isn't random, it's aligned, it's timed, it's written. There are seasons in your life when effort does the heavy lifting, and then there are seasons when grace takes over. This is one of the latter, a moment when the invisible and the inevitable meet in the center of your path, and the outcome begins to tilt in your favor without you having to force anything at all. For so long, opportunities felt just out of reach, as if the timing never fully lined up, as if something kept placing you on the edge of the breakthrough but never quite in it. But, Libra, that edge is dissolving now. The universe is shifting its weight toward your side of the scale. The planets that once felt neutral are leaning in with intention, forming patterns that carry your name in their language of light. That's why things are beginning to feel strangely possible again. Why old ideas are coming back to life. Why your mind is clearer, your heart steadier, your steps less hesitant. The path ahead is widening. What once resisted you is softening. The currents that once pushed against you are now moving with you. And in that gentle forward pull come the signs of expansion you've been waiting for. Not loud, not rushed, just quietly, steadily unfolding. A conversation that leads to a new role, a chance that once felt too far for your reach, a door that was closed long enough to convince you it wasn't yours. They're shifting now, as if some cosmic hand decided to unlock them all at once. But the real shift, the one that matters most, is happening inside you. You're beginning to believe that you deserve ease, that you deserve opportunity, that you deserve abundance not because you earned every inch of it, but because your soul is finally aligned with receiving. This is the moment, Libra, when the life you imagine stops being a distant concept and becomes a room you're allowed to walk into. Feel that. Let it settle in your chest like warm light. Let it remind you that worthiness isn't something you prove, but something you reclaim. And as this new flow begins to gather around you, as each door eases open, there is something even deeper waiting just beyond the threshold. Something that has been circling you quietly, waiting for the exact moment your spirit softened enough to notice. Stay with me, because the next shift isn't about opportunity, it's about connection. And what approaches now touches your life in ways no doorway ever could. And Libra, as all these doors begin to open around you, there's a quieter doorway opening within you too. The kind that doesn't make noise. The kind that arrives like a breath you didn't know you'd been holding until you finally let it go. Because abundance, real abundance, doesn't rush in with gold and glitter. It arrives first as a feeling, a softening, a release in the space just behind your ribcage. A sense that you're finally allowed to stop bracing for impact and start trusting the ground beneath your feet. For so long, you've carried the world with such grace that people forgot you were carrying anything at all. You made balance look effortless, even when it cost you your own peace, even when it stretched you beyond your own edges, even when it taught you to place harmony above your own heartbeat. But something in you is changing now, not loudly, not all at once, but deeply. You're beginning to remember what it feels like to belong to yourself again, to come home to your own breath before you try to fix the room around you, to choose stillness not because it keeps others comfortable, but because it keeps you whole. That is the wealth arriving for you. The kind no one else can see, yet everyone can feel when they're near you. The kind that settles into your bones and tells your nervous system the one thing it has been craving for years. You are safe here now, and in that safety, something beautiful happens. Your spirit loosens its fists. Your mind stops rehearsing worst-case endings. Your heart tilts open in ways it hasn't dared to in a long time. You begin choosing from fullness, not fear, from clarity, not obligation, from worthiness, not avoidance. This is the quiet revolution of your life. The moment you stop performing peace for the world and begin cultivating peace for yourself. And once that shift takes root, the outer world starts to rearrange itself around your inner truth. You notice you're no longer stretching yourself thin to be understood. You're no longer bending your needs until they disappear. You're no longer filling gaps that were never yours to fill. Instead, you're learning to receive, to hold open your hands without apology, to let the world meet you halfway instead of always walking the full distance alone. And Libra, there is a sacred power in that. A quiet declaration to the universe that says, I am ready for a life that supports me, not just a life I hold together. Take a breath. Feel the shift. Feel how new it is, how tender, how frightening, how right. Because when a spirit as generous as yours finally learns to receive, the entire universe begins to lean closer, curious about what you are becoming next. And if you listen closely, beneath that soft expansion in your chest, you'll hear something else approaching, a different kind of blessing, one that arrives not in things but in someone. And Libra, as your heart learns to rest in this new softness, something else begins to stir around you, a presence. Faint at first, like a shadow made of light rather than darkness. The kind of presence you notice not with your eyes, but with that quiet inner sense that rarely fails you. Someone is stepping toward your life now, not with noise, not with demands, not with the kind of intensity that overwhelms your spirit, but with calm, with steadiness, with a kind of emotional maturity that feels almost foreign, yet deeply familiar. This person carries a rhythm you recognize in your bones, a patience, a depth, a way of seeing the world that doesn't rush you, doesn't shrink you, doesn't judge you for the moments your balance falters. They show up the way understanding often does, softly, slowly, like someone opening a window just enough for fresh air to find its way in. You may not even realize when they first appeared. Maybe it was a message, a look, a small moment that didn't announce itself as anything significant. Yet something in their presence reached the part of you you've kept tucked away for years. They notice things about you that the world often misses. The way your voice softens when you care deeply. The way you hold space for others even when your heart is tired. The way you keep choosing compassion even after life has given you every reason to close the door. They see these things not because they are searching for what's wrong, but because they recognize what's right, what's rare, what's quietly extraordinary. And the most surprising thing isn't their attention. It's the way your spirit responds to it, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with a slow, opening warmth. The kind you feel when someone gives you permission to breathe fully in your own skin. This person doesn't want to change you. They don't arrive with solutions or intense promises. Their presence itself is the offering. A space where your soul feels understood without needing to perform peace or perfection. Perhaps they see the dreams you set aside, the ones you label too tender, too impractical, too soon. Perhaps they see the version of you only allow to exist in private moments, the unguarded version, the hopeful version, the unapologetically true version. And maybe, just maybe, their presence is the gentle invitation to bring that version of yourself forward again. Libra, there is something sacred about being seen without being asked to shrink or shine. Something healing about a connection that doesn't demand you to be more or less than who you already are. Sit with that feeling for a moment. Feel how your chest loosens, how your breath deepens, how your spirit becomes just a little more willing to step into the light that has been waiting for you. Because this connection, whoever it is, however they arrive, isn't the destination. It's the beginning of a shift in how you allow yourself to be held. And as this presence grows closer, you'll start to notice something else rising too. A memory, a dream, a forgotten spark that has been quietly waiting for the right moment to return to you. And Libra, as this connection begins to settle into your life like a gentle light, something else begins to rise within you. Something quieter, older, almost like a memory that never fully left. It starts as a faint pull in your chest, a familiar warmth, a soft spark that flickers at the edge of your awareness, asking to be seen again. You know this feeling. You've felt it before, long before the world grew loud, long before responsibility and doubt wrapped themselves around your choices. It's the echo of a dream you once held close, a vision you carried with innocence and certainty before life convinced you to put it down. There was something you wanted, Libra, something that belonged only to you, an idea, a calling, a creation, something that came straight from the center of your soul. And when you touched it, even briefly, the world felt bigger, brighter, more yours. But back then, the timing wasn't ready. Your heart wasn't steady enough. Your belief in yourself wavered under the weight of keeping everyone else balanced. And so, that dream, that spark, was tucked away gently. Not forgotten, just waiting. And now, in the quiet between breaths, it's waking up again. Not with urgency, not with pressure, but with a soft insistence, like a hand knocking on a door you thought was sealed. Pay attention to that feeling, Libra, because it's not a coincidence. Dreams don't resurface unless the soul that birthed them has finally grown strong enough to carry them. You've changed. You've softened in the right places and strengthened in the places that once trembled. You are no longer the version of yourself that doubted every step, that apologized for wanting more, that questioned whether your voice mattered. You stand differently now. Your energy is deeper. Your heart is wider. Your faith in yourself is no longer a whisper. It's a quiet, steady hum beneath the surface of your days. And because of that, what once felt impossible now feels within reach. Maybe it's a creative project. Maybe it's a business idea. Maybe it's a space you've always wanted to build for others to find comfort, healing, or truth. Maybe it's simply the courage to show a part of yourself you once hid from the world. Whatever it is, it's coming back because this time, you're ready. Ready to nurture it, ready to protect it, ready to let it grow without shrinking yourself in the process. And you don't need to leap. You don't need to force anything. Sometimes a dream only asks for a small gesture. Opening an old notebook, revisiting a half-written plan, touching the idea just long enough for it to breathe again. Because once you breathe life back into it, it will meet you halfway. It always has. Take a slow breath, Libra. Feel the old spark warming in your hands. Because just beyond this rekindled dream is something even more powerful. The moment your inner courage finally rises to meet your destiny. And Libra, as this old dream warms back to life in your hands, something even larger begins to move behind it. A shift so quiet, so ancestral, that it feels less like a choice and more like a turning point, written long before you arrived here. There are moments in a soul's journey when healing stops being personal and becomes generational. Moments when you realize you're not just mending your own story, you're rewriting the ones that came before you. You've carried patterns that were never yours to begin with, wounds passed down like heirlooms, beliefs whispered into you long before you knew how to question them, ideas about sacrifice, about staying small, about bending so the world would not break. For years, you took these things as truth, as duty, as the price of being the peacekeeper. But Libra, you were never meant to inherit a lifetime of self-silencing. You were meant to break the cycle, and you are breaking it now. Not with rebellion, not with fire, but with something gentler, more revolutionary. You are choosing yourself. Every time you set a boundary without apologizing, a generation heals. Every time you let yourself rest instead of holding the world up on tired shoulders, a story is rewritten. Every time you choose honesty over harmony, truth over performance, alignment over approval, you return a missing piece to the line of people who came before you. This is why your life feels different now. Why the air around you feels cleaner, lighter, wider. You're no longer moving from old programming. You're moving from truth. Your truth. And with that, truth comes a new kind of prosperity. The kind that doesn't strain you, doesn't drain you, doesn't require you to abandon yourself just to belong. It's abundance that settles in gently, like a long-awaited sunrise. Abundance that supports you, cradles you, meets you with open hands instead of demands. It's the wealth of knowing you don't have to earn your worthiness. The wealth of knowing your voice matters, your needs matter, your joy matters, and more than anything, that you don't have to choose between love and peace, between success and authenticity, between belonging and becoming. You get to have all of it because you are the one who finally said enough, the one who stepped out of the old shadows, the one who walked toward a gentler future and refused to let fear follow. So now the universe asks you one simple question, not as a test, not as a warning, but as an opening. Are you ready to receive what has always been yours? Take a breath here. Let your chest soften. Let your spirit answer in its own quiet language. And if the answer is yes, If the answer has been waiting in your heart long before your mind admitted it, then speak it with your whole being. 888, I am ready to receive. And Libra, that moment you whisper yes is the moment your new life finally begins. And Libra, if you've made it this far with me tonight, I want you to hear this part with your whole heart. You are not returning to an old version of yourself. You're stepping into the one you were always meant to become. A version that breathes easier, that chooses with more clarity, that trusts its own balance more than the noise around it. You've broken cycles that were generations deep. You've softened wounds that were never spoken out loud. And now, as this new chapter widens in front of you, the only thing left is for you to say yes to the life rising to meet you. Let it in. Let the abundance in. Let the healing in. Let the love that recognizes your soul find its way to your doorstep. And if something in you is whispering, I'm ready, then write it into the universe in the simplest way you can. Comment, I am ready to receive. Say it with intention. Say it as a promise to yourself. And Libra, if this message touched you, if it felt like it was meant for the season you're walking through, don't forget to subscribe, because your journey isn't ending here. It's only beginning. There is another message on its way to you, another sign, another shift, another truth the universe is preparing to place in your hands. So stay close, stay open, stay in this community of hearts just like yours, people who are healing, growing, awakening together. And until the next time we meet, Libra, trust yourself. You're not stepping into the unknown, you're stepping into your destiny. The journey continues, and your next message is already on its way.